Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. Like most tragedies, Loren and Alexei's marriage started to fall apart gently with whispers. Loren was first simply lounging late at night, her phone lighting the dark living room. She had grown used to rumors about reality stars like herself. But this time it was different. Her name was in the news, entwined in a narrative she knew nothing about until that point. Designed to draw attention, the article was sensational. Alexei Brovarnik linked to Fernanda Flores in secret affair. By a 90-day fiancé, beside it was a grainy but clearly identifiable picture of Alexei and Fernanda dining in a fancy restaurant. Alexei leaned toward Fernanda, his hand touching hers, and the intimacy of that was more than any casual meal. Loren looked at the picture for what seemed like hours, her mind a tempest of anguish, incredulity, and rage. By the evening Alexei returned home, Loren was ready. Tears dried, phone in hand, she sat waiting, her anger still ablaze. She asked the direct inquiry straight away, her voice firm yet sharp when he arrived. "Are you ever going to be honest with me, Alexei?" Alexei stopped, still carrying his keys. Trying to keep his voice impartial, he questioned, "What truth?" But the flutter of guilt in his eyes betrayed him. "About Fernanda," Loren remarked, standing and waving her phone. The dam let out a blast. "This graphic. The rumors. Are they actual?" Alexei stopped a beat far too long. His usually cool head broke as he sought to dismiss it. With trembling voice he replied, "It's not what it looks like." But Loren was not purchasing it. She pushed more, making him face what they both knew. Their once strong relationship had been damaged. Fernanda was battling her own tempest in her flat while their house echoed their fight. She sat cross-legged on her bed, her phone serving as a conduit to ceaseless anger from both supporters and detractors. Her social media alerts were erratic, comments accusing her of being a homewrecker, hate-filled messages. Though not like this, she had always dreamed of celebrity. Her phone hummed with an Alexei call. She debated whether to respond while fixed on the screen. Her voice was familiar and comforting, but tinged with desperation when she did at last. "I find myself thinking about you non-stop," Alexei said. Fernanda moaned and massaged her temples. "Alexei, we have to stop here. You live in a family. This is erroneous." "I know it's bad," he said, "but Loren and I have not been the same for a long time. It is not only you, Fernanda. Things used to be broken previously." She hung back, uncertainty and shame whirling inside her. Though Fernanda had never meant to be among this mess, she was clearly in it now. Days stretched into weeks until Loren finally broke. She got out a suitcase early one morning and started packing. More apologies and arguments were not what she needed. For their children as well as herself, she wanted serenity, clarity, and space. Alexei stared him in the eye and said, "You destroyed the trust we built," as she tried to stop her and begged another opportunity. "I am not able to stay." Loren departed the house that had once been their refuge, carrying her things. Standing in the doorway, Alexei watched her go, knowing he might never get her back. When all three consented to take part in the 90-day fiancé reunion special, the media circus peaked. As the studio lights turned on, there was clear excitement. Sitting on opposite ends of the couch, Loren and Alexei represented the gulf in their relationship. On a video screen, Fernanda showed up with a countenance that combined weariness and guilt. The host lost no time at all. "Alexei, the world wants to know, what happened between you and Fernanda?" Alexei moved nervously. He came clean under the lights and under the critical eye of the audience. "I crossed lines I ought not to have. I let my emotions guide me since I was perplexed. But I never wanted to mistreat Loren." Fernanda spoke in a low but forceful voice. "I never intended to cause someone else suffering. Though I now understand how mistaken I was. I thought Alexei and I were just friends." Then Loren, cool but firm, said, "I loved Alexei, but without trust, love is inadequate. For my children and me, I am moving ahead. Less than what I deserve will not satisfy me." The audience burst in cheers, but on stage the strain stayed strong. The cameras swept across their faces. Loren's relentless, Alexei's full of regret, and Fernanda's weighed by guilt. Promising to follow the trio's travels in the aftermath of their decisions, the presenter hinted at an impending spin-off, after the 90 days, as the reunion came to end. Knowing her road would not be simple, Loren went off the stage head raised, resolved to reconstruct her life. Alexei stayed behind, glaringly reminded of what he had lost by glancing at the vacant chair next to him. Watching from her television, Fernanda too worried if she would ever be able to overcome the shadow of this affair. Right now, the story was finished. Still, the consequences were just starting to show. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.